All right, well, good morning. We're at the Wednesday morning painting group here in Cotuit. I know there was some discussion on the name, Herb. I'm standing with Herb Holden, the founder of that group. So did I get the name of the group right?
Well, I'm not really the founder, but the guy who founded it didn't live long enough to continue it.
So you've carried on.
Well, his wife asked me to, so I did, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, the history, when it began, how it began.
Well, actually, this man moved down here. He was an artist, had been an artist all his life, and he got to know a bunch of guys like me, and he decided he wanted to have a painting class. Well, most of the people didn't know how to paint. I mean, I'd had experience because I was in the advertising business for 40 years, and the rest of them were game enough to try it, you know. And so it started out with all men, and then I think his wife talked him into letting women in.
All retirees.
Right, right, all old people. So that's the way it started, really. And we had, he was alive about 2 years after, and then he died. It was a sad thing, very, anyhow. I've carried on now for whatever years it is.
Since 92?
You know, and 92, yeah.
And it meets every Wednesday, pretty much year-round.
Yeah, yeah, we do. We go from September to December, and then we start again in January and go to May. We don't do it in the summer.
Okay.
That's too much golf.
Right, too many other
beaches
priorities.
And all that stuff, you know.
You gain experience, so then you have something to paint
right,
when you come in the fall.
Well, in the wintertime we have a problem sometimes too, because people go south, you know.
Right.
So we get them in the fall, then we get them in the spring. Yeah.
And now how do you become a member? How do you join or recruit new
Just
painters, new artists?
And bring your own equipment and your own subject matter, because I don't have a structured class. I don't set up a still life and say, paint this, you know. I don't do that. Everyone brings what they want to paint and does it in any medium. And it's $5 a day.
Okay.
And at the end of the session, like from September to December, you make out a check to some charity that we decide on. And that's where the money goes.
That's fabulous. And so tell me, over the years, how much money you've raised?
Well, probably about $13,000 we've given away.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned that everybody comes, they bring their own supplies and they paint. It's not a formal instruction, but at the end then you do a critique.
Yeah, we do a critique.
And everyone shares input.
Right, yep, they do, unfortunately. No,
why unfortunately?
It's good. No, it's good. I mean, I'm glad to see that they will do that, you know, instead of just listening to me talk. And it's actually, this is really a social event with a little painting thrown in, you know.
Nice. That's nice.
We have a good time here.
So we were chatting about this painting behind us, that you were explaining to me that this is the 12th time you've been working on this.
Well.
Or that you've recreated it.
Right.
And tell me a little bit about that. It was so interesting to hear how you do it.
They're all a little different, and the interesting thing is they've all sold.
I can see why. Yeah. I can see why. So you must is it one of your favorite scenes?
No, mainly I paint it because it does sell.
That's a good reason.
And actually, I've done it so many times now, it's not too difficult. Well, this one seems to be getting difficult. I don't know why, but I'm getting old, I guess. So.
No, but you explain that sometimes you might do it more of a close-up or put the water in front.
Right, crop it different, add the different backgrounds and stuff like that. So it's as I say, it's a good seller.
It sure is. Do you always paint from a photograph?
Yes, I go out and take my own photographs, and I paint from those, because I've done some outside painting, but it's too much of a pain. Too many things to cope with. And in your studio, you've got everything set up just the way you want it, much easier.
Have you always painted?
Well, not oil paints or watercolors per se. I worked in advertising for 40 years, but I was a commercial artist, and I didn't do illustration as such. I did everything else. But when I had promised myself when I retired I was going to do serious painting.
Well, I'm here next to Bill Belden, a member of this Wednesday painting group. How are you today?
I am terrific.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. How long have you been painting?
This time around, about 11 years.
11 years. What do you mean this time around?
Well, the first time around, I did my last oil painting in about 1959.
Okay.
And then work got in the way and family and all that. So I started again in 1999, so just a 40-year hiatus.
Hiatus, but you're back in action.
I am back in action.
You missed it, and are you work with oils?
Yes.
And tell me about what you're painting, your style of work.
I don't think there's I'm not sure I have a style.
Okay, you just paint what you like. Do you have
That's
a
right.
favorite scene, or you tend to?
I tend to do, because of my background probably in landscape architecture and then city building, did a lot of downtown kinds of things, redevelopment. So I tend to paint buildings. I do landscapes, but often buildings are a part of it, as this, which is Port Clyde in Maine, where you take off from to go to Monhegan Island, which is an island
It
that
sounds
a
beautiful.
lot of artists paint on.
Really? Have you painted there as well?
No.
No. Maybe
Just from
soon. Maybe this
just
summer.
That's a possibility.
Now, where did you do? Where did you work in redeveloped cities?
Washington, D.C., Minneapolis, St. Paul, Albany, New York, Corning, New York.
Oh my goodness. All over. How'd you
yeah.
end up here on the Cape?
We like the ocean, and so we were debating between here and Portland, Maine, and we started looking at houses here and never got back up to Portland. And so we live in Centerville.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sherry Starr, you are a new painter officially today, is that
Today,
correct?
that's correct.
And so tell us a little bit about how you heard about the group.
Well, I paint with Louise and Jack in class over at the Cape Cod Art Association.
Okay.
And Louise told me about this group, and I live in Cotuit, so I came today.
Wonderful. And tell me about your style of work.
Well, it's sort of evolving. I like to paint figures. This is a piece that I did last spring, and now I've been getting into some landscape work and putting people in them as well.
Have you always painted?
No, I've only painted about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to start painting?
I'm not sure. I just got the bug. I had been painting furniture and painting walls and doing some faux painting, and I just decided one day I wanted to do oil painting, so.
And what's your sense of this group? First day, I've heard such wonderful things about everyone here.
They're all great. Yeah, I enjoy it. I know most of them, so.
Great.
Except I haven't met him very well, so I don't know. I'll reserve
We'll see after the
judgment.
critique, maybe.
After the critique,
After the
right.
critique, it might be
Yes.
your first and last time.
Yes.
I have a feeling you'll be joining them more often.
I think so.
All right. Well,
What
thank
brought
you.
to the Cape?
Sheer accident.
A sure accident.
Oh, it was. We were planning on retiring in the Carolinas.
Okay.
Once we got to retirement age, we realized that was not where we wanted to be. And there's much more. You know, you got the symphony here, you got the Academy of Lifelong Learning, you got, you got these groups, you got the Cape Cod Art Association. You know, it keeps you very, very busy, and it's a great place to live.
It really is. Now, tell me, we were chatting that you didn't always paint.
No,
So tell me a little bit about that.
the story was that we traveled with this couple. One was an artist, and we were in the Caribbean, and I did not want to go island hopping one more day. So I said I would just stay on board, and she said, I think I'll paint. So we sat out on the one of the decks, and she had little postcards made of watercolor paper, and we started painting, and that's how I got into it. Got back to New Jersey, started taking lessons. A couple of years later, we came up here, and I've been taking lessons ever since.
Ever since, and this is a perfect place to come and try it. Now, you were saying, though, that watercolor, you didn't enjoy that as much as maybe now moving into the oils.
Watercolors are extremely difficult. People seem to think you just, you know, that it's an easy art form. It's a very difficult one if you really want to get very
So
good.
I want to thank everyone today for allowing us to come and visit the group. I wish I knew how to paint. I might need a paint by number, but I could sit and paint. It's such a, I love the interaction among all of you. And we again want to tell our viewers that anyone who wants to come down on any given Wednesday, right, in the fall and the spring, to be sure to head down and join this wonderful group of artists.
Be glad to see them.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.